Yesterday, I was buying an Audi R8, but I stopped myself at checkout. I'm proud to say I saved 250K. Okay, just kidding, but buying an Audi R8 or any other new car is something you should avoid if you want to save money. In my opinion, everyone should just get a 2011 Honda CR-V. Hi all, it's Cherry. Today I want to talk about budgeting mistakes you should avoid in your early 20s. This video is based on my personal experience. It's my blood, sweat, and tears, and I hope you're gonna avoid making the same mistakes I made when it comes to budgeting. Today's video is inspired by Erica Kohlberg. She's a lawyer and an expert on personal finance. I've learned so much from her, and I highly recommend you check out her channel. One thing she said that resonates so much with me is if you are saving more, it's actually equal to earning more. Let's say you're making $4,000 a month and you manage to save half of it, which is $2,000. You're actually keeping more money than someone who makes $10,000 a month, but manages to spend, let's say, $9,000 a month. So not everyone can start making $10,000 a month right away, but saving can start anytime. And sticking to your budget is crucial in achieving your saving goal. The first budgeting mistake is not having a clear saving goal. Have I tried saving money in university? Of course. Have I ever succeeded? No. Why? Mainly because I memorize all my credit card information and I don't even need to whip out my wallet when I check out online. But deep down, I know that's because I didn't have a clear saving goal. A lot of times, the idea of saving was merely an afterthought after I looked at my bank statement. I was shocked by the number on there, and it sort of sparked this guilt and regret in me, and I wanted to start saving. Then for the next 2 weeks or a month, I would stick to my new budget. And then after a while, I would be like, hey, you're saving so hard, you deserve a reward. And then I will get myself a lipstick. One lipstick here, a nice meal there. Things add up really quickly. Before I know it, I will be ignoring all my budgeting apps' warnings and notifications, and I will go back to living my life blissfully ignorant about my spending pattern. It shows that the sense of guilt and regret is not as powerful and sustainable as a driving force than a clear saving goal. Because it is based on a rush of feeling only, there's no dire consequences if you don't achieve it, there's no time limit, there's no end game. Abraham Lincoln said, discipline is choosing what you want now and what you want the most. Instead of doing what I did in university, we should think about good reasons to start saving. I want to pay off my student loan. I want to buy a house before I turn 30. I want to live comfortably and retire early. These goals are valid, realistic, and time sensitive. Therefore, you should have a clear budgeting goal that's going to contribute to your financial stability. You can use any budgeting app you want or a budgeting spreadsheet template. I would suggest write your goal down and stick it somewhere that you can see all the time, and you can even put one in your wallet. Second budgeting mistake is surrounding yourself with too many temptations. In university, my biggest weakness was Sephora. Surprise, surprise. Also, my university years coincide with the rise and blooming of beauty gurus, collaborations, brand deals, and my general lack of ability to tell them apart from genuine product recommendations. Combined, I spend so much money on things I didn't even need. A highlighter that's going to shine your problems away, got it. An eyeshadow palette with 35 never seen before warm tone eyeshadow, got it. A lipstick that's going to seduce Brad Pitt, okay, they don't make that, but they should. I was on YouTube all the time. I was surrounding myself with temptations. I was buying stuff non-stop. I was feeding into my weakness. I was spending money I didn't have. I was a dead woman walking. Sad. Just to show you how big of a Sephora fanatic I had been, remember the 20% off annual sale they have in November? The sale would always start at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that is 3 a.m. Toronto time. I kid you not, I would set an alarm at 3 a.m. and wake up in the middle of the night just to check out my cart because I was afraid things are gonna get sold out. Crazy, I know. But don't worry, I came back to my senses. I stopped doing that a long time ago. I lost my VIB Rouge status, but I'm very, very proud of it. I only did 2 things in achieving that. The first thing is I stopped watching makeup tutorials for entertainment. I know my time is limited and I want to use it for my own growth. And I started watching channels about productivity, personal finance, entrepreneurship. Hashtag manifestation. Ugh. Second, I unsubscribed my email from all the shopping lists. Sephora, The Bay, Yookville, you name it. It's amazing how human minds work. If I don't look at something all the time, I forget about it, and gradually my interest in it just decreases. But this also means if I don't put my saving goal in front of me all the time, I forget about it too. So if you want to save successfully or do anything that's successful in life, it's all about training your mind to make it work for you. Okay. The third budgeting mistake is actually not being sure about yourself. Hey, you thought this video is going to be about budgeting but not self-confidence, but it really is. This budgeting mistake or personal trait is something very similar to the mistake I talked about before, but this time we look at ourselves from within. One aspect of not being so sure about ourselves could be following trends blindly, and I'm guilty of that too. Other than makeup, my other weaknesses include clothes. Back then, if I saw someone wearing something nice and trendy, I will find out where they got it and buy the same thing for myself. Naturally, a lot of items I bought did not even look good on my body type. And I was just trying out so many different styles that fit other people, but not necessarily for me, hoping that one of the styles they have is gonna fit me too. But this trial and error on clothes can get really expensive if you just keep buying clothes that don't fit you, or anything in life that don't fit you, but fit other people. When I was doing that, I was not only disappointed by the clothes because they look so good on other people, how come they don't work for me? And I started to pick myself apart because of that. I was like, oh my god, why are my shoulders so broad and I cannot wear bubble sleeves? Why are my hips so wide that pleated skirt it looked disastrous on me? I failed to realize everyone is different. There's hardly any one size fit all or one size flatter all clothes. It's natural for you to go through something I was going through back then. It seems like I could never find the perfect clothes. What's important is to find your own style and stick to it. To be brutally honest, I feel like I just spent a lot of time and effort on trying to look like someone else. But that changed since the quarantine. I'm very proud of myself. I found my style. Yay! My style is comfortable without the need to shave. I feel confident. I feel like myself. Actually, I made a video on finding out my body type, and if you want to see how I always find flattering clothes, I'll link it here. Ever since I found out my style, I just stopped buying clothes randomly, and normally I just rotate through the couple favorite outfits that I like. The same principle does not only apply to clothes, it does apply to makeup, books, anything, even plants. I like this one. This one just survives on its own. If you find your style, congratulations, just stick to it. It's the least time consuming, least money consuming. Also, I suggest buy something that's classic, durable, and high quality, because most of the time they are more comfortable and you're more likely to wear them more. And the classic styles hardly go out of fashion, so you don't need to worry about like falling behind the trend because you are the trend. But don't use this as an excuse to buy more high quality clothes. Just deal with what you have first. I'm watching you. Even though I said I have found my style and haven't bought random clothes all the time, I haven't decluttered my closet in a long time, so I'm gonna make a video about it. Stay tuned if you're interested. The fourth budgeting mistake is not asking why enough. I cannot tell you how many times I've fallen for a good packaging, whether it be snacks, liquor, or makeup. What matters is not the packaging. It's probably not even the inside. It's about how it will serve you. So I have made this flowchart in helping you make your purchasing decision. The whole idea of the flowchart is to slow down your purchasing process and help you think about the why behind your desire. Let's say you want to buy a car, so it goes to the will require more money in the future section. What is the real reason you want a car? Do you want to get from point A to point B? Do you see someone else driving it and you want it too? Do you see it on TikTok, or do you want to impress someone? Okay, the last three reasons are the same reason, but what is your reason? If your reason lies among the last three reasons, and if you can afford it, go for it, no problem. But we are talking about budgeting here, so let's go for the first reason. You want to go from point A to point B. Actually, in this case, what you want is not the car itself. It's to get from point A to point B. So let's talk about alternatives. First, you look around yourself and see if there's any cheap public transit system, or do you have a bike? Can you bike to work or carpool? And how often do you need to get from point A to point B? And if there's no public transit system and no carpool choice, you need to get a car. There are alternatives too. First, you can get a car rental or you get a second-hand car. If the new one is too expensive, they're always expensive, so get a used car. And third, you can get a scooter. Scooter is fast too, but it depends on if you have the technique and the license. So it's all up to you. See, yesterday I saved myself from getting an Audi R8, and right now I'm helping you too. When thinking about the why behind our purchases, another problem is to differentiate luxury and necessity. For instance, having a pet is not a necessity, and I learned that from my experience with my cat Orion. He is expensive. He is luxurious. I'm talking about dry food, wet food, toys, litter, vet bills, and my time in general. He is indeed a luxury. In spite of that, after a lot of consideration, I decided to adopt Orion because I want him to keep me company during the quarantine, and I want to take care of him and love him because he had nowhere to go. No one wanted to adopt him. That's insane. He's so cute. In order for both Orion and I to live comfortably, I adjusted my budget to incorporate his expenses. And accordingly, I reduced my expenses to have some room for his expenses. This is good. It shows that your budgeting should be reflective of your current living situation and your current goal. You're the one who's making the decisions. What really is important is to support your decision using your calculation. You see like how much you're actually going to spend, how much you actually want to save. So those are the aspects you need to ask yourself. But if you form a habit in asking yourself why more, it's going to save you a lot of money from making unnecessary purchases. Wow, that was a long one. Okay, but we are finally here, and the last budgeting mistake is treating budgeting as a task. Every time I'm facing a task, I don't know if I'm just an anxious person or something, I just feel this tremendous amount of pressure on me. I could be checking my budgeting app all the time and beat myself up for overspending. This could lead to me giving up on the budgeting altogether and starting to spend money in a self-destructive way. But we're here to fix it. Mark Twain said, Mark Twain said, a habit cannot be tossed out a window, it must be coaxed down the stairs, one step at a time. And that's exactly what I did. For example, I gave up on drinking bubble tea. I'm saving at least $48 a month on just that. And you can do the same. Maybe the first month you quit bubble tea like people quit smoking, and the next month you reduce your time of eating out to only 1 time a week. And after 2 weeks, you learn maybe 4 or 3 of your favorite dishes, and you are eating at home more, and you reduce your time of eating out to only 1 time a month. And that's progress. Instead of becoming a budgeting expert overnight, treat it as a long-term goal. Before you know it, budgeting will become part of your lifestyle, and you don't even think about it, you just do it naturally. Then you'll find out you'll have less desire on possessions, but instead you'll have a higher drive to keep your personal finance in check, and your bank account will thank you. Okay, that's all the mistakes I made. Maybe there are more. I'll make more videos about it if you want to see it. Thanks for watching. If you like it, please like and subscribe, and let me know if you're watching, because I really need some reassurance that actually some people are watching me.